Thanks for having me back. I'd like to say thank you to Matthias and Martin for having me back. For those of you who don't know, last year, YouTube pulled my video off of the Bitcoin Prague, I guess, stage because I'm a little bit too controversial. So this year, I'm going to be a little bit less controversial. I'm here to talk to you about the most valuable asset on the planet that's not Bitcoin. It's time. So I'm going to biohack time for you in a very interesting way. My slides have nothing to do with what I'm going to talk to you about. So the slides are also 21 hacks for time for you to take and listen to. And I'm going to give you 21 more. So when you're finished, you'll have 42. So the first one is to put time in your bank account. To get sats is AM sunrise. You need to get 30 to 60 minutes if you're a tech abuser. If you're not, I'm assuming everybody in this room is, you want to fix your mitochondria. You don't need to know how to do it. Just get outside. You don't have to look at the sun. You just have to be outside so your eye can sense the sun. This will fix a protein in your mitochondria called CCO. You'll make a special type of water that's really important to run your hack. It's probably 80% of the story that I'm going to tell you now. If you can pull that off, you'll have absolutely no problem dealing with it. The second one is, you know that people in Europe like to smoke. Not very popular in the United States, but I want you to go outside and tell your boss that you smoke. But when you go out, you're going to take light breaks. So if you're doing heavy coding or you're doing things in Bitcoin every 25, 30 minutes and you're using power in your head, I would like you to go outside if you can. They have shirts that are made now called Cool Tan or Kaniki. This happens to be one of them. The sun goes right through, so you get a benefit. So go out as much as you can when you're doing heavy work and put some more time in your bank account. The next one you could probably see on my face. These are blue blocking glasses. This year, the organizers of Bitcoin Prague gave all the speakers a pair of these glasses. These are designed, the ones I'm wearing, go all the way up to 550 nanometer light, so it blocks all the terrible light that's shining on me right now. It protects my brain. What's the main goal for you guys to understand? It protects melatonin in your brain. Melatonin in your brain makes you sleep better, you renovate better, you heal better, you don't need doctors. Doctors are very expensive in the fiat world. So these glasses are one of the cheapest hacks that you can find. They're widely available in Europe now. They're available just about on every continent outside of Antarctica. The next one is I want you to plan your week for circadian biology. What's the number one thing for the room to do? I would like you to change the light bulbs where you work. So in Europe, that may be a little bit difficult, but if you can find specialty light bulb stores, go back to incandescence. If you can't find incandescence, go back to halogen. This will extend your time. For those of you who don't know, blue light in an LED, which is shining on me right now, what is the major effect? It destroys melatonin, but it dehydrates you. It turns you into Mars, and you're less like an earthbound person. So that's the major effect. What are the secondary effects? When you're in blue light, it's like you eat a cheesecake without any food. It raises your blood sugar. What else does it do? It raises your insulin level. So this is the reason why screen technology and light bulbs are a huge problem. The next one, I want you to bask your tasks at jobs by your energy levels. So for example, if you are doing something for your boss that is energy intensive, after that or before it, I would like you to go out and try to get some sun. For those of you who live at high latitudes in Europe, I want you to understand the red light from the sun still penetrates the clouds. So even if it's cloudy or rainy, the answer is you go outside. Why? Every mitochondria in your body responds to this red light. It needs it all the time. So even a small amount of time will improve your cognition, it'll improve your productivity. So this is very important. The next one is really important. To become a first principle thinker, if you're in the tech world, you're doing a lot of work on Bitcoin, this stuff right here, Europe, you have a big advantage to the United States. This is called deuterium-depleted water. This has an isotope of hydrogen taken out. It's the lightest water in the world. This one is made in Romania. You guys can get it. I would like you to mix it with salt also from Europe. This one is fleur de sal. It generally comes from places like France, but I know that you guys can find it elsewhere. Just make sure the salt has no fluoride in it. You can put these things together when you're working on your computers. Drink as much of this as you want. The bigger tech abuser you are, the more you need. This will help you. Why is it helping you? You can join my Patreon, I'll teach you why. This is only about time hacks. Next one, this one should be pretty obvious. I want you to really pay attention to your use and abuse of EMF. Why? Last year, if you came to Prague, you heard I talked about Steve Jobs, Hal Finney, and Paul Allen. These people were all billionaires and they all died before 62, 63 years old. I don't want anybody in our tribe to face that event. So that's the reason why Matthias asked me to come back this year to talk to you guys about time hacks, specifically how to avoid dying early. And limiting your EMF exposure is important. The more time you can spend in the sun, less time in front of a computer screen is big. You guys have probably seen the guy's booth outside Daylight Computer. I was involved in that process. That's the only computer that's ever been made in the United States that has no blue light and no flicker. So this is really good for you as well. Now this one, somebody upstairs asked me this question about sleep. They wanted a sleep hack. This is probably the easiest hack that you guys can do. All this fancy stuff on the side here, all I want everybody to do to improve, if you have sleep apnea, is take your tongue, push it to the roof of your mouth. Keep practicing that. Right before you go to sleep, all I want you to do is keep it to the roof of your mouth. What that does, it raises your tongue, opens your airway, you'll improve, and you won't be a mouth breather. You'll get more oxygen delivered. Second hack here, rubbing your eyes. If you rub your eyes, you can also stimulate the vagus nerve. So rubbing your eyes is another way to do this, okay? With the other big issue here is with meals. Meals, I want you to eat local for your environment. So if you live in Prague, eat what grows on the farm. If you live in the UK, eat what grows there. Do not eat what's in the supermarket, okay? The supermarket has things that didn't grow in that location, and food fundamentally is an electromagnetic barcode of photosynthesis. So that's key. Number 9, the key here is your tough task. Many of you may not know that the human brain works on circadian biology, also a timing mechanism. So your most difficult part of the day, cognitively, I want that between 11 and 1. Those are the times that you should be using most of your brain power. If you're creative, say you are like our last person, the artist that just showed you his movie, the time that you need to be mindful is 9 to 11. Now, for most everybody else in the room, all the meaningless tasks that you have in your life, that's like talking to your boss and talking on email, that should be saved for later in the day when your brain is not as optimized. The next one, this one is extremely important. I have found the longer that I've gotten, the older I've gotten, you have more money, you have more Bitcoin, start to delegate tasks. Right now, I don't do anything that I consider superfluous. My nurse is sitting in the audience, and she's probably mad that I'm saying this, but I delegate a lot of my tasks to my nurse, but I do take good care of her, so don't worry about that. But it's really important to delegate low volume tasks. Why? Because you have to employ via negativa. You need to keep your brain tight for the things that you need to do so that you can put time back in your bank account. Now, the boundaries, this one is important, I think, for your colleagues, your spouse, your bosses, the Zoom meetings that you don't need, the meetings you don't need. You need to be pretty harsh with people. Your time is extremely valuable, and I only want you to waste it on things that are highly productive. So anybody who's a time vampire, you need to limit them. If your boss tells you we need to meet, say fine, but we're not gonna do it on Zoom, we're not gonna do it on here and there. You can put the phone down and walk away. This is really important. I would tell you, probably in my life, how big a deal this was. As a surgeon, you know, most of the time I start my cases at 6 a.m. I changed my whole surgery schedule to start at 8 a.m. Why? Because the first 2 hours of every day are my time. And I cut out all the superfluous. And it's really important to do. Now that I'm older, I've gotten even more crazy about this. So if I don't want to deal with somebody, I'm just out. I just tell them it's not going to happen. Now this is another one. This is what I call bouldering. So if you have a big task of the day, say your boss wants you to code, you know, some new part of the Bitcoin development team or things like that. I want you to take the big task and break it into smaller tasks and break it up. Why? Your brain tends to work better. Multitasking is total bullshit from the productivity guys. Your brain only has certain channels that it works on. So take any big project, break it up so that you become more efficient. Because if you're more efficient, you'll get the job done quicker. You'll reserve more time for yourself. Number 13. This one, do not lunch. I would rather you use your cognitive power, which is at its height in the midday. So this is 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So if you need to snack, that's great, but I would rather you not go out to lunch if you can avoid it. Try to do your hardest tasks of the day midday. Your brain works the best at this time. So that's the time that you want to allocate so that you can get the task done, because you'll be much more efficient if you operate this way. Number 14, this one's a big one. When you have a busy day, what's one of the things that you can do to reset? Everybody can stand up, take a deep breath, and breathe in and breathe out. If your office is next to a window, try to get a window that opens. Europe does a great job with casement windows. The United States, we're terrible at that. Everybody should have a window. If you don't have a window, then you run outside and take your break. But I want you to do everything you possibly can. When you go out, maybe to get the time manifesto that Daniel told you about, if you have all the shitty lights in your office and you just turn them off, you can bring a red light from outside and bring it into your office and put the red light in there. This will also help. Really good issue there. Now, 15, the lights that I'd like you to use at home to reserve your time are candles and fire. So I want you to step back in European times. I don't want you to use LED lights. I want you to turn them off. And I'd rather you go back the old way. This will preserve your melatonin levels. Why? Because I want you to do very well. If you decide you want to do your meditation then, you want to do deep breathing then, you know, you can use Erwin Lecour from France, MoveNat. You can use even Wim Hof's technique for breathing, the Buteyko method for breathing, whatever you choose to do. Anything you can do to reserve your oxygen for your time before sleep is good. If you decide you'd like to do a cold shower before sleep, also very beneficial. Now this one may be a little bit controversial for some people, but I want you to ground. Grounding, many people may not believe that there's a physics effect here. There's a huge effect. The sun is a cathode ray. The planet, anode, when the light hits it, we knock free electrons off. We're the silly talking monkeys on the planet that have sweat glands on our feet. This is why we wear socks. Turns out that you have an ability to absorb those electrons for free, so it's free energy. So I want you to ground. If you have stressful time at work, same thing, I would like you to ground. Most people see the slide up there and they say, ask your doctor if marijuana is good for you. You're gonna be surprised what I'm about to tell you. Marijuana for people who are tech abusers actually is beneficial. Why? It affects the endocannabinoid system. And when you're a tech abuser, what are the two things that happen? It decreases your myelin and your microtubule function. And it turns out that low dose use of THC usually in edibles. If you want to smoke, I'm okay with that, but you should smoke outside in the sun, not inside in a room like this. But edibles are probably the best way to go. What does this do? It acts like spackle on a broken quarter panel. So that means you can improve your myelin function, you can improve your microtubules. So yes, a neurosurgeon is telling you, I don't have a problem with marijuana. Number 17. This one is about cognition. And the real big issue for cognition is I want to make sure that you never take that step over to dementia. That has also a lot to do with why I told you about marijuana. The papers are out now that show that the more problems people have with cognitive fog leads to some of the neurodegeneration issues that my generation is getting. Believe it or not, the earliest patient that I've ever seen with Alzheimer's disease is 27 years old who worked in the tech industry. So don't think this is a boomer disease. If you are a real tech abuser, protecting yourself from dementia is a time hack. And all of the things that I'm telling you right now reserves your time. And it's very, very critical for you to do this. Complete darkness when you sleep. What's the other key thing? Circadian biology works by light and dark. But what's the other factor very few people talk about? Temperature. So we have a Bitcoiner, his name's Michael Shapiro. He's made a cool pillow. He only sells it for Bitcoin. You can find him on Twitter. I'm a fan of that. What's the other thing I want you to do? Cool linens. Try to get away from all the fake man-made fibers. I want you to go back to use cotton, okay? Am I okay at nighttime? This is the one caveat. Normally, I'm not a big fan of air conditioning. I know that we're in Prague. Most people don't really need air conditioning, but many of you may not know I relocated from the United States to El Salvador. It's really freaking hot there, okay? So if you live inside the tropics, am I okay to use a fan or AC at night? Yes, why? Because that doesn't break too many of the circadian rules. So cooling is really important. For people who don't know this, melatonin works better when your temperature in part of your brain called the hypothalamus drops 3 to 4 degrees. So I want you to understand cooling plays a role. If you're a true biohacker and you really want to take the next level, get a Ziploc bag, put ice in it, put it on either side of your carotid arteries. You can cool your brain before. If you want to use a cold plunge, I'm okay with that as well. The next one, number 19, is meditating. Now, many of you who don't know me probably will be a little bit offended about what I'm going to tell you next. But we talk about sunning our balls, sunning our ass, sunning the garden, also sunning the ass, the ladies, the breasts. All these areas we have covered. Take a look right now. Everybody in this room has those areas covered. But I challenge any one of you to go and find a human born that is wearing what you're wearing right now. The answer is mammals don't do that, but we do. And that's part of centralization, society, and civilization. So I want you to understand, when you're meditating, I'd like you to do it outside in the sun. You pick the time to do it, but I'd like you to get those parts in the sun. How much time? Depends how bad and how untan you are. I'd say a good rule of thumb is 15 to 30 minutes. I think for Northern Europeans, you probably need more 30 minutes this time of the year because today is the summer solstice, the longest day of the year. The next one, this one is a good one. I want you to go back to wearing cotton. Cotton and linen allow the sun to go through. The shirt that I have on today is made by a company in Arizona called Cool Tan. What does Cool Tan allow it to do? The sun goes right through the shirt. So when I'm outside, technically, I'm naked. Ladies, there's a company in the UK called Kiniki, K-I-N-I-K-I. They make bathing suits, one-piece, two-piece, and wraps. When you go outside, it's like you're naked. So you can be naked even in front of your friends. People in the United States, we have another company called Cool Tan. They also make bathing suits. They make them for men. They have shorts this way, and they also have shirts. So I want you to go back to the natural fibers so that when we're here at Bitcoin meetings, we can still enjoy the beautiful sunlight in Prague. And the last one, I would like you guys to start a time journal. And a time journal is really, I think, really important so that you can begin to understand how you're spending your time or how you're wasting your time. And I want you to do this for the first 2 or 3 weeks until you get a better routine than what you've done in the past. Because once you do that, it's important. The other big thing is I was gonna put a slide up here about one of my young Bitcoiners. His name is Brandon. He's used a lot of his Bitcoin to buy a citadel in Riviera Maya. There's a picture of him on Instagram on the roof, and all you see is the Mayan Riviera jungle behind him. It's beautiful, but he's standing right next to a 5G tower and solar panels on the roof. So here he did something good in his citadel and then did something bad. So I want to tell you, if you do spend your Bitcoin, and I do think that's important, and you build your citadel, build it wisely. For those of you who want to do your meditation and do your time journal, am I okay with sauna? Yes, but make sure you do sauna the way the Scandinavians do it, with stones, fire, and heat. That's the best way to do it. Now, towards the end, I want to read for you something I wrote. Last year when I came to this conference, I read the law that I wrote for Nayib Bukele for medical freedom. Today I write you a manifesto for decentralized time, restoring vitality through time and sunlight. We, the sovereign individuals, declare that time is the truest wealth, a currency more precious than Bitcoin. For a while, rich man's gift is fleeting. A busy man's time is sacred, offering to the masses. In a world where centralized systems, whether medical, governmental, or technological, have shackled our vitality, distorted our truths, we reclaim our birthright to health, freedom, and the radiant energy of the sun. It's inspired by the Hawaiian wisdom from the people. Time in the past means time in the future. We navigated the truths of our origins to chart a future unbound by tyranny. We reject the false narratives of a culture that fears the sun, worships screens, and cedes power to corrupt institutions. This manifesto is a call to decentralize life, to restore time as a gift to all, and to harmonize our mitochondria, ensembles us to the heliosphere that we are connected to. My country, the United States, once a beacon of freedom and liberty, has succumbed to a toxic culture of scientific tyranny, of governmental overreach. The Constitution has been misinterpreted through false narratives. It has been weaponized to centralize power. It stripped the people of our natural rights. Centralized medicine, of which I used to be a part of, is like a yogurt left untouched for 250 years that has failed to cultivate a culture of healing. Instead, it fosters a dependency on entropy. Technology's blue light and non-native EMF ensnares our minds. It creates an addiction, soon to be medicalized by the insanity of the system that we've built that are blind to our flaws. We now stand at a crossroads, remain complicit in this chaos, or we have to reclaim our sovereignty. I propose a radical act of defiance and renewal. The Decentralized Time Manifesto is a movement to redistribute time, a healing force for the ill, to reconnect with the sun's life-giving rays, and live on our own terms. The vision is rooted in the following principles. Time is medicine. The ill are robbed of time. Time to heal, time to live, time to thrive. We call for a decentralized system where time is gifted to those battling sickness, not through charity, but through community. Volunteers, unencumbered by bureaucracy, offer their time and support to the ill, whether through companionship, caregiving, or sharing of their wisdom. A busy person's vote is a vote of time, coherence over chaos, a currency that replenishes the soul. We reject vampire-like fear of the sun propagated by centralized systems. The heliosphere's rhythm, pulsing through our brain, rewires our fate. I urge all to join this solar revolution. Walk barefoot at dawn, gaze into the dusk, and let sunlight recalibrate your mitochondrial harmony. Every ray absorbed is a step toward health and time. It's a rebellion against the forces of entropy. Bright days, nights, this is the cadence of vitality. Do what you can right now. Do what you can with what you have right now, where you are right now. Don't worry about optimizing. Begin now. Now is the only time you have. Government exists by consent of the people, not vice versa. Freedom is in the air, and that fuels the fire of liberty. Yet centralized power has abused our trust. We demand the return of these ceded rights, for the corrupt have squandered the powers that were lent in the preamble's true meaning. We, the people, our posterity, are not mere subjects by sovereign creators of our destiny. Each of us is a unique snowflake. Our mitochondrial DNA is a canvas painted by photonic software of our choices around light. From the dust of our ancestors, environments to the light we embrace today, our uniqueness is forged in all of these things. Fall, rise, and claim your uniqueness. Adapt, grow, and let Mother Nature's extraordinary canvas be the backdrop to your life. The greatest wisdom is knowing how little culture provides. The strongest do not win life's lottery. The nimble, the flexible, the adaptive do. Those are our tribe. Those are the Bitcoiners. Our mitochondria is an ensemble of life's energy. We thrive on the frequencies we emit. Music, sunlight, authentic connection. That's happening here at this conference. We reject sympathy as a crutch. We walk beside others with wisdom, not affliction. Your life is a chocolate in a box. Its secret center is awaiting you by discovery of your curious mind. The conclusion. Decentralized Time Manifesto is not a program. It's a revolution of spirit. It's a call to break free from the centralized control, to give time to those who need it the most, and to harmonize with the sun's eternal pulse. We are not vampires. We are beings of light. We're wired for resilience and uniqueness. Let us rise, adapt, reclaim our time, our health, and our freedom. The heliosphere sings, will you dance to this rhythm? Signed, We the People, on June 20th, 2025. Thank you.
Secure your BTC Prague 2026 ticket at the lowest possible price now.